Children's lives are largely made up of words, the words of their parents and those whom they love and admire. A child is like a soft, pliable, and impressionable canvas, waiting for the brushstrokes of language to paint upon it an image of self, of hope, of love, of fear, of courage, or of despair. The words spoken over and to a child by those closest to them, the parents, the guardians, the siblings, the teachers, the friends, the church members, and especially the mother and father, create the environment in which their inner world is formed and fortified. Words shape them, not just in the moment they are heard, but in the years and decades that follow. A mother can fill her boy's heart with an untamable zeal for education, for moral uprightness, for diligence, and for a noble position in life, or she can, with just a few thoughtless words, crush the finest spirit that was ever entrusted to a family. When I say that children are word-mad, I am not exaggerating. I mean this quite literally. Their beliefs about themselves, their understanding of love, their capacity for resilience, their emotional and mental stamina, their ability to face life with boldness or shrink back in fear, all of these are informed by words. Words of affirmation, words of encouragement, words of approval build them. But so do words of disapproval, criticism, neglect, sarcasm, and condemnation. These to build something, though it is usually something fragile, distorted, and sometimes permanently broken. The wife, too, often underestimates the potent force her words wield over her husband's confidence and emotional stability. When a man loses his job, when he faces disappointment, rejection, or humiliation out there in the marketplace or workplace, the words he receives at home become either his healing balm or the final blow. He may have been whipped, exhausted, and discouraged before he came home, his pride already bruised by the world, but when he walks in through that door, it is the tone of his wife's voice, the choice of her words, that can determine whether he rises up the next morning with renewed strength or sinks deeper into despair. If she scolds him, mocks him, or questions his manhood, she has not only multiplied his burden, but she has also chipped away at the foundation of his soul. But if she opens her arms, embraces him, and says softly and sincerely, "That's all right, dear. You will get a better position. You are worthy of greater things," her words become more than comfort, they become prophecy. Her voice becomes the wind beneath his wings. He goes up the next morning not as one defeated but as one sent. Her lips become a wellspring of courage, her voice the melody of faith in him. He may have gone to bed weary, but he wakes up a different man, not because the circumstances have changed, but because the words in his heart have changed. And as he goes out into the world again, she remains at home, her own heart full of pride, and she whispers to herself, "What a man God gave me." And he, as he walks down the street or drives to work, whispers back to heaven, "What a woman you gave me, Lord." That is the secret power of words. That is the invisible engine of strong homes, resilient marriages, confident children, and faithful men. A few careless, sarcastic, sharp, or cutting words could have shattered him entirely, filled his mind with confusion, his heart with bitterness, his eyes with tears, but instead, her choice to speak life, love, and hope became his saving grace. Words indeed are mighty. Words can give heartache that lingers like a wound that never quite heals. Words can sow suspicion, jealousy, and insecurity, but in the same breath, words can strengthen the weary, comfort the broken-hearted, and awaken long-dead dreams. Words can rekindle hope where hope has died, and light a fire where the flame has gone out. That is why we must be ever watchful, ever cautious of the words we allow to come from our lips. Words are not merely sounds, they are seeds, and they do not die after they are spoken. They fall into hearts, into souls, and often grow into forests of belief. Some of us are walking around today with entire belief systems built from one sentence someone said to us at the age of 6 or 11. Some cannot love themselves because of a sentence spoken by a father. Some cannot trust others because of an insult once flung at them by a teacher. Others are thriving and standing strong today simply because someone once believed in them and said so out loud. So, let us weigh our words carefully. Do not tell that story you heard the other day about this man or that woman. Don't repeat it. Don't pass on the poison. Don't let another pair of ears be infected the way yours may have been. Just because a tale is interesting doesn't mean it is worth repeating. Choose to be a guardian of good words. Never be the carrier of scandal, gossip, or slander. Never be the bearer of bad news unless it is to bring help or healing. Do not be the one who spreads calamity, fear, or judgment. Let others handle the noise of society, the repetition of decay. Your lips were created for beauty, for blessing, for building. Speak comfort, speak encouragement, speak wisdom, speak life. That is your calling. That is your holy assignment. Careless speaking is a vicious habit that costs far more than it appears. When one finally comes to realize that their words are the coin of their kingdom, that every sentence spoken either deposits value or extracts it from their world, they will stop treating speech as casual. Your words can be a destructive influence or a divine blessing. Your words can be arrows or healing balm. If you cannot say something good, don't say anything at all. If your speech must correct, let it do so with grace. If your words must confront, let them also comfort. If you must challenge, also cheer. Your tongue is a tool. Use it to build, not to burn. Control your tongue, or it will control you. Many have destroyed opportunities, friendships, marriages, and futures simply because they could not control their tongue. You will often hear some people boast, "I speak my mind," and while honesty is noble and transparency admirable, it is dangerous when the mind is filled with pollution. If your mind is filled with resentment, judgment, pride, bitterness, or arrogance, then speaking it out is not virtue, it is violence. A poisoned mind spilling over into speech becomes an agent of destruction. Better to purify the mind first, so that what comes out blesses, not bruises. Sometimes, an idle word spoken in a moment of carelessness falls into someone's heart and stays there for years, even decades, slowly poisoning their self-worth, their faith, their relationships, and their dreams. Just one sentence, one thoughtless phrase, can undo years of progress. But the opposite is also true. One sentence, spoken with truth and love, can restore hope, break chains, and awaken destinies. What a blessing good conversation is! Honest, uplifting, wise, timely conversation. And what a curse its opposite can be: reckless, cynical, divisive speech. Train your tongue to speak only what uplifts. Make it a rule for yourself. If it doesn't help, don't say it. If it doesn't build, don't utter it. Make your tongue a blessing, never a curse. Let your voice become an instrument of heaven's music. A person is judged by their speech. People may see your appearance, but they know your heart through your words. Your words become the mirror of your inner life. They reflect your values, your beliefs, your self-control, and your wisdom. Your words make you either a well of inspiration or a fountain of sorrow. They either inspire confidence or drain it. Your words may carry a fortune in them. Imagine that. Your future may be unlocked not just by talent or strategy, but by the consistent discipline of wise speech. Words can attract allies, open doors, start movements, birth ideas, restore broken relationships, and lead people to faith. Learn to be master of your conversation. Guard it like a precious jewel. Practice silence when needed. Speak when needed. Speak only what is worth hearing. Let your voice be known not for its volume, but for its value. Speak not to impress, but to impact. Choose words that heal, not hurt. Sow encouragement, not envy. Speak to elevate, not to destroy. When you do this, you not only change others, you change yourself. You become a fountain of life. Your home becomes safer, your relationships become stronger, your influence becomes deeper, and your own heart becomes more peaceful. And when your children grow up and look back on their childhood, they may not remember all the toys, the places, or even the meals, but they will remember your words. They will remember the tone of your voice, the sound of your praise, the encouragement in your correction, the warmth in your blessing. They will remember that you built them with words, and they will build others the same way. So remember, speak life, always,